Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special presentation. Zelda, A Link to the Past. A special game in many's hearts. Super Derpy Face, hello. Welcome everyone. This is a tier list where I'm going to be ranking all the items from Zelda 3. All the, all the ones you collect. So it's not going to have, I guess, like, pots and like that kind of stuff. It's only going to be the ones you yourself can get a hold of or can use. So what is this ranking based off of? What do you mean? What does that mean? Okay, I like changing the color because it always trips me out that it's like backwards. Look at blue. Look, the blue tunic. And this should be like the red one, you know? You're watching someone who never played a Zelda game before play OT for the very first time. Isn't it really fascinating? Because all the stuff that we like take for granted with Zelda. Because if you've never played a Zelda game before, the way you would even like rank these items that we're about to do right now would be so different than if you're someone who's like played the game like twice or 5 times or 10 times. Like, much like a Mega Man game or any kind of game, the usage of items can make or change how the game functions. And I feel like with A Link to the Past, like obviously the better sort of, these are all going to be ranked as their own merit, especially because I'm gonna incorporate like the randomizer into this, because like because the game itself, even the one I did in the thing, like I don't think I've done vanilla A Link to the Past in a long time, but I still remember how it works, obviously. But I can tell you where every single item is in the game. Like if you gave me a map, I could be like, yep, there. I could probably draw the map, as I feel like at this point I've proven myself. With the amount of times I've done the randomizer without a tracker, doing it on like the hardest seed possible, doing it in the 7-game Zelda randomizer, like being able to pull off glitches and stuff. CatnipP art stream when? I could do Mario Paint again. That was always really fun. I've wanted to try that. You make a Bob Ross photo, like you follow the tutorial, but you do it in Mario Paint. So you have to use like the Mario Paint tools. But doing that in Mario Paint, but then trying to Link to the Past map would be really funny. Yeah, like the doing it from memory, you know what I mean? Like the big thing. But yeah, so yeah, it's a good question. Am I going to be ranking them separate? Yes. So like the swords will be ranked separately, the mails will be ranked separately. The shields, because these are all vastly different in their usage. And yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I guess I'll kind of just go. I'm trying to think, like, what's like the most divisive item? What's the one that I kind of have an order here. We'll save the swords for last. I feel like there's a few I'd save for last. You know what I mean? But I guess an easy one to start with is the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow, I would say, this is a tricky one to rank, actually. So I feel like it's good, but I'm like, would I say it's like the best? You know what I mean? Like, would it be like the best of the best? Would I rank this like my absolute favorite thing? I feel like there's other things I like better than this, because the ammo usage can screw you over if you don't get the fairy upgrade. So I feel like because of that, you're always gonna be limited by the ammo a little bit. Yeah, OT, because like all the different ways you can combine it. Even in Link's Awakening, where you can make the bomb arrow. But it is useful in the game. Like you need it to shoot, like it has function as a use of attack. But also in the usage of opening puzzles and passageways.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Okay.
Pan scrap.
that was good. Also, watch streak. I see you. It is very satisfying. I agree on that. It is satisfying shooting something in the eyeball with the bow and arrow, and I feel like it still has a good usage. I might move it up honestly later. It's only really outdone by the silver arrow, or also later known as the light arrow, which I don't know if they call it light arrow in the GBA version. I think it's still called the silver arrow. This thing is like god tier. Like in the randomizer, if you get this, you pretty much can like insta win the seed. Oh, also, I didn't talk about the randomizer usage with the bow, but this is really good in the rando because if you don't have a sword, this can be like your main form of attack for the most part, and it works like pretty well, like killing bosses and that kind of stuff. But again, you're still limited by the ammo. This one, you could have like 10 silver arrows, and you're taking out pretty much everything. You can even take out the final boss, assuming you didn't miss. Like you could even miss a few times and you'd be fine. But yeah, this thing obliterates everything in the game. It's pretty much like we're looking at pretty much like one of the best things. It's only really limited by the ammo again, but by the time you're getting this item, you're at the end of the game. Like you've done pretty much everything. So if you haven't found like the Lake Hylia arrow capacity upgrade spot by then, even with like what 20 or 30 arrows, you're still laughing. Yeah, but I should have went in the order you get the items. That would have been fun. I just realized that. But boomerang, where do we rank the boomerang? The blue boomerang specifically. This is like one of the first items you get after the lantern. Actually, let's do lantern first. This is the first item you get, right? So I feel like the lantern. So I kind of want to go in order a little bit now. I'm only a little bit out of order at this point. Yeah, because I feel like these both fall into the same spot of they're cool but not amazing. Like you use this to light torches, and obviously it's useful for the final fight. But even the fire rod is more practical, especially if you have like half magic and stuff by that point. But the lantern itself can't damage enemies, I don't think. I think you can light the Gibdos on fire. But I think in the GBA version, it can attack enemies, or in the rando or something like that. It is necessary for caverns, I will say, or like the dark areas. Like that kind of screwed me in the randomizer in the 7 Zelda seed. Not having the lantern to light the way through dark caverns and shit. So it definitely has function there. But that's more of like a visual thing. And honestly, if you have the sword and not randomized enemies, it doesn't really matter too much. And you won't really be in a situation where you wouldn't have it in vanilla anyway. Like it's like forced upon you pretty much. Because you wouldn't be able to navigate the second half. I don't even think Zelda will push the altar unless you've picked it up. And there's 3 different spots you can get it to. Like if you don't get it from the house, you get it from the spot underneath. And after that, I think it's also the chest near Zelda. I think it can also be there. But yeah, the lantern and the blue boomerang, you get this early. I feel like it shouldn't be good, the blue boomerang. You know what I mean? Like, I almost want to put it a tiny bit higher because stunning enemies is pretty good, honestly. But I feel like this has no use beyond lighting torches and like lighting passageways. This at least has some function and use of being like something that can like help you navigate passages and like make your way. Such a dramatic song. The boomerang. So yeah, I'll put B for boomerang. But the red boomerang, which you get a little bit after by throwing it into the pond. This thing, might as well just do both boomerangs because we already got them here. The red boomerang, I would say is it's definitely up there. I would call it honestly, would I put it into A? Maybe not. I feel like it's basically just a slightly better boomerang. It does go really far though and really fast, and it makes that better than this. But at the end of the day, it's still just a boomerang.
Mario.
And I feel like the hook shot is still like more precise in a way. I don't know if precise is the right word, but I'll put B for boomerang. Listen, strange woman lying on pawns distributing swords is no basis for system of government. The premixing of power derives from mandate from the masses, not from some fab for... Ah, fuck, I fucked it up. Yeah. If a bitch in a pawn gives you a boomerang, must you take it? Okay, I can't focus with this song. If you go to the village, Kakariko Village... I know I said it kind of went out of order a little bit at the beginning. But like, you just finished Hyrule, or the Sanctuary, the castle, and all that. So you leave and you go to the Kakariko, you get the bug catching net. B for bug catching net. This is the easiest thing ever. No, but I would say this thing can actually kill 2 different bosses. So it's actually kind of useful. Fairies are like the thing you're doing the most in this game. Without fairies, so many things will fuck you up. Also, we do know now that you cannot use the bug catching net on the door. But if I had to choose between the net or the lantern, I would choose the net. If I had to choose between the net or the boomerang, I'd honestly probably choose the net still. So I'd rather have something else that we're gonna get later instead of the boomerang. Like if I had to choose between, like if I had to like choose one and eliminate the other. But they make it so essential to the like recovery system of the game. So if you don't, if you suck at the game, the higher it goes. You know what I mean? Because this is basically the lifeline between you and this thing here, a bottle. B for bottle. Easiest. No. I say they kind of go hand in hand, right? Like you can't have the bug catching net without the bottle. You can't have the bottle without the bug catching net. So I feel like they're kind of a package deal. Bottles themselves are actually incredibly useful. I almost want to put it higher, actually. Like it'd be like they're so tied together, but it's like this one's a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Because like with a bottle, you have what? Bees and golden bees, which you don't even have to use in the game. You have 3 different types of potions. You have fairies, of course. Is there anything else I'm missing? Even that alone for like a Super Nintendo game is pretty good too. It's already good. Like the bottle can make the difference between the game being like total horseshit or like, oh, that was a fun time. You know, bosses like Trinex can easily go down if you have a blue potion or green potion. Long dungeons can be less of a grueling experience if you have bottles and you caught fairies or you stocked up on potions, or even you have a bee and you just have to take out some enemies. So the practicality of them, I think that slips it into A tier. The only reason why bug catching that wouldn't be higher is I feel like it's not like a good item against regular enemies or anything like that. Like it literally is only good against that one specific boss. I don't know if that's good enough to push it higher, because otherwise it's just like the one thing for fairies, which is already really good, which is why it's already like so high. But I feel like beyond that, it's not useful. So yeah, this is with me. I'd still rather have this than that. Like if I'm looking at this list here, it's like, yeah, like these would have to go together. But yeah, the bottle, like I'd rather have a bottle first because I could have potions. So that would give it priority. I'd rather have a bow than all of this, yeah. And I'd rather have the silver arrows and all of this. So yeah, this works out so far. So if you left the village and you start making your way over to the old dungeon there, you do the first dungeon. That's where you get the bow. So we already did that one. You would then leave and go to the second. You go to Sarashula and you'd be like, "Yo, bro, it's good." You just do like a little like. Oh, I never did the shield. I'll do the shield. I'm not gonna do the swords yet. I feel like swords I'll wait. That is just fairies, but also kills 2 bosses. So that's why, like I said, that's why it goes a little bit higher, but it's not gonna be as good as bottles. Yeah, because bottles like has more uses. The basic bit shield, it's really just there for a visual. I gotta make you wait. You think I'm showing my tip right away? Come on. Like, is there any point to the blue shield? Does it actually protect you from anything? Like, it just makes Link look cool. Because it doesn't block the fireballs. That's what the next tier does. And obviously it won't block, like swords or anything. You can't even use it like you can in Link Between Worlds. Where in that one, you can, like, pull up the shield. Like you can in, like, the Game Boy games. Because they don't actually make the shield useful to the Game Boy ones. And I feel like that was like a purposeful decision. Where they were like, oh shit, the shield fucking sucked in the SNES one. What if that other function can't work without the bottle? It can block arrows. Oh, interesting. And yeah, you can't even get the net, technically, in the original without the bottle. So they're tied together in that sense, too. But in the randomizer, you could still use this net to do a few things. Like you could even defeat Eggy Ham, in theory, if you had like the cape and stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, shield sucks. It just visually looks cool, so that's why it's saved from F. Honestly, I might even push it down. So yeah, did I miss anything else so far? I don't think so. Oh no, you have the Pegasus boots from Shurala. S, because like it can open walls, you move fast. Once you get these, it changes your entire movement in the entire game. You're no longer bound by like mortal slowness. The only thing that's really hard about it is that, you know, it has a tiny bit of a learning curve. I wouldn't even say it's that big of a learning curve. And it even has the ability to be stopped, where you can like push back and you can like, or like left or right or whatever, and you can like stop it. Even if you angle it correctly, you can go upstairs. You don't bounce off. Like you can do some cool like corner cutting with it. In the Satellaview version, and then the randomizer, you can make it so it continuously goes. I don't know if it's an heavy version of the rando, but yeah, no, the Pegasus boots ability to be not just, oh, and you can also bonk shit off the walls. You do that a few times in the game. You bonk like the book off the wall, or you bonk the key, I think, off a few things. Bonk, like I said, you can bonk walls open instead of using bombs if they're like the big style ones. And also you can quickly kill enemies now. By later in the game, you'll get the Master Sword, and that'll allow you to just like tear through enemies. So, and then when you get the later swords, oh my god, like the butter sword and stuff. Yeah, and then the fact that you can just traverse the game faster, like there's pretty much no downside to this thing, and it doesn't cost any MP. Like if it cost magic or something, like I'd be like, oh okay, yeah, this thing kind of sucks, or like, oh, you know, it has limited use, but it's just fucking infinite. I'm gonna put on my Pegasus boots and start stripping streetlights off their copper. Yeah, no, it's essentially like the greatest item in the game. If this is the best like attack item, this is the best like movement item for sure. And you get it like right away, pretty much. You beat a single dungeon and the game's like, here's like the best shit. Like, go ahead. You get the bottle, you get the bow and arrow, you get the boots, you get the boomerang. But like, they're all like really good items, like right off the bat. Let's see. You get the boots, you get the book. The book's kind of B for book. Honestly, I might put C for book. Like, if it had a cool bonus usage, because you basically use it for 4 checks. You can do it for the dungeon, for the entrance. Which, honestly, once you have the Dark World access, if you have Misery Mire and the randomizer, you can actually just reverse enter and you don't even need the book. So that's 1 check that's optional in the randomizer. But in the vanilla, you have to get it. And it has the 3 spots, like the 3 checks that are also totally optional. In the randomizer. In vanilla, you do need to check them for the medallions. But even then, it's only like 2 specific ones that you need. You don't even need the 3rd one. Which is cool. I always like that about Link to the Past, that there's all these optional things. Like, you don't need every single item. The items you get from the book are really fucking good. But the book itself, it's only really good for the... But after that, it's like... You know what I mean? Like... So yeah, honestly, I might put it lower. It does 4 things. Can't do anything to enemies. You can't, like, upgrade it or modify it, or, you know, there's no story impact. You can also use it to read the pedestal, which is useful in the randomizer to know if you have to get all the items. So I guess that's why it saves it from F. Like, it does have some usage. Honestly, the blue shield has no fucking usage. Why is this in D? Why is this in D? It does fucking nothing. At this point, you could get the mushroom, but I'll save the mushroom for actually, the mushroom I can do real quick. This will take like 2 seconds. It does a single check. You get 1, and you check it, and that's it. I guess. Like it does its job. Like it's kind of a fun quest. Like I like the concept of, you know, giving the mushroom to the witch, which they grind into the freaking dust in later Zeldas. But yeah, I really, it's I wouldn't say it's useless, because it does do one thing. This doesn't do anything. You can get the shit eaten and like, who cares? Oh, I guess bombs should go in here too. I'll put bombs in A. They can be a little annoying when they hurt you, and like when you run out, it's the most fucking annoying thing ever. And you do start out with a very limited amount. But if you know how to use them, they do a lot of damage. And they can also, yeah, they pretty much every enemy is affected by it. You can kill Helmasaur King with them, both in the Link to the Past and the Link Between Worlds. You can use them for, like I said, different entrance ways. There's some exclusive bomb only things you have to use them for switches, like they're much like the arrow. Like there's a lot of cool usage of them, like not just for like one singular thing. It has like I said, walls and switches and floors and enemies like the Stalfos. Like there's a lot of things where like you need them. It's just the only issue is that I feel like the inventory of them is really tiny, and I think Ocarina of Time fixes that. I'm pretty sure you start with only 10 bombs in Link to the Past, if I remember correctly. But in OT you start with 20. Yeah, the Helmasaur one, I learned that actually from A Link Between Worlds. That's what they want you to use in Link Between Worlds. And I was like, huh. So I tried it out in Link to the Past, and I was like, oh shit, it actually works. Or maybe I saw like a stream or something. I've watched a lot of randomizers too. It's possible I saw it there, but I at least more recently I remembered it from there. Yeah. The thing with the Link Between Worlds is that everything in that game is from A Link to the Past, right? So I assume that anything that was like that would also work the same way, and pretty much everything does, besides the shortcuts, obviously. But everything's been like little homages, so I assume the Helmasaur King was an homage to, like, you know, a little cheeky thing that was like that's why I liked it so much, because it didn't do the obvious references. It did these like really like, obviously there was a few obvious ones, you know, Modorm and shit, but there's a lot of stuff where like you didn't know you could do that. It's like, oh, huh. Yeah. And or even just like the level design, doing like little hints of things from the game, but not doing like full out, just here's the same dungeon. I really enjoyed that. And like each dungeon having different stuff. Anyways, yeah, like I said, it's my favorite Zelda, Link Between Worlds. It's such a good example of like expanding upon what was already a like perfect game. But I digress. You get the mitts. The mitts fucked me so hard in the rando. I feel like they have to be an A, because another example of a thing that has a lot of usage, opens up a lot of paths. I don't want something with lyrics, it's just too distracting. At least for like a tier list, because I try to talk. The gloves, honestly, I pretty much just naturally put it there, and I agree with that. Being able to pick up things, all the secret areas you can get, you know, the money room, and the all sorts of fairy spots and stuff. It's a pretty integral part of the game. It opens up all the warps. Yeah, the gloves mitts was like, I have to give respect to them, because I didn't respect them as much. But not having the mitts in A Link to the Past or Between Worlds and the randomizer was like hell. At least in A Link Between Worlds, you can still go between the worlds using the mural painting. But with A Link to the Past, it was just like, what am I doing? Like even if you have the hammer, even if you have the gold, oh sorry, not the gold mitts, or you just have like swimming or any of this stuff. None of it matters. Hook shot. If you can't like lift anything up. Reading the monthly Costco magazine. Did you know that removing your foot from the accelerator will gradually slow down? Pro tip. Did you know using a bomb will blow up a wall Wait, what? Okay, so we just got the mitts. Yo, Surreal, yo, what's up? We're doing a tier list. We're talking about A Link to the Past. So we just did a big rando. We're talking about all the items here, the usage of things. Someone got paid to write this. Honestly, it was probably an AI at this point. I'm not even gonna joke with you. That's a sad reality. Oh, I should talk about the tunic. Because you start, these are your basic bitch clothes. I don't know how to rate this. It doesn't do anything. It's just visual. So from like a gameplay standpoint, you can't go around naked or anything. But it doesn't like do anything. Like it's just his look. And even his look's not consistent, because what he looks like in the manual with his blonde little hair and shit is so different from what he looks like in the game with his like pink hair. Mostly because of a thing. If Liu Kang, Tempered, and Butter Sword and Quarter Magic aren't S tier, this is fraudulent. Just because you said that. F tier. No. Oh, I should throw in the magic powder too, because you got the mushrooms. So you come back for the magic powder. This one I put in C. It's much like the... it's better than the lantern, because it actually can attack enemies. And it gives you... No, you can make fairies with the magic powder. Which again is like... all this shit. But I'd still rather have a boomerang than magic powder. Would I? I'd rather have magic powder than all this, that's for sure. But would I rather have magic powder than boomerangs? That one seems divisive for me. Maybe that. I don't know. Nah, just I guess maybe that. Base close a F is fair since yeah, like it doesn't do anything. That's why they're here. That they're just visuals. Cause like these at least do something. They're just limited with what they do. The D tier, like you know, you're only doing like 3 checks or 1 check, and they can't do anything else. There's no other like you know bonus attack or you know they help in a fight or something. This at least does something, but you can't really attack with it. These all have like, you know, a special like double use. They have checks, they have like attacks or bosses they can fight against, or they freeze enemies, or they so on and so forth. Then these ones are like, they're practical, they're fun to use, they open up things in the game, so on and so forth. Then these are like, bro, if I have these, I'm like, I'm laughing, whether it's the vanilla or the OG. Oh, that's true too. The anti-fairy stuff, yeah. Or just like the annoying ass enemies, like the cactuses and all that. As I said, I think B's respectable for it. I feel good with that. It's not Zelda music, but I'm jamming. Okay, they aren't allowed anything to write home about. All those old people, Jay. Ain't anything to write home about. I never thought of that saying before, but I guess, yeah, you wouldn't even get into the letter. Damn. Nipples. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was like, where am I? Like, where did we start from? Because I jumped around a lot. We did the mitts. Oh yeah, so you use the mitts. You'd lift it up. You go through the cavern. You go. I guess you get the flippers. You could get the flippers at this point. That's usually when I get them in the game. So I'll say the flippers. Sometimes I get them after I get to the Tark Court for the first time. No. I usually do it first. So I get the red shield and everything. Yeah. They're not making it to the end of the Christmas card. That's brutal. Flippers. Another thing that you get them, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. But is there really a lot of... Yeah, there's a lot of... Yeah. No, I can't talk shit about flippers. They're pretty useful. The Water Palace. You can't even do it without it. The fairy pond. There's just that check on the ledge, too. Just being able to warp around the map, honestly, in general, before you have the flute is really useful. But by the time you get Dark World, though, it's like, it's such a small amount of time. But it still is useful. And then, you know, allows you to get the Ice Palace. Allows you to go to all these cool... There's a lot of cool things where you can, like, go with the flippers. And then you, like, go into a specific spot. And then you, like, use the mirror. And then you go somewhere else. I like that a lot. You go into the bridge for the homeless guy. You got... Yeah, there's a lot with the flippers. Like, there's a lot to them. Even though, like, there isn't a lot of spots overall. Like, there's not a lot of water in the game. The usage of it is practical and useful. So I'd say, yeah. I'd say A. Like, I'm happy when I have them. And when you don't have the fake flipper, life's much better. Because even fake flippering, you can only really do so much spots and stuff. Although, as we know, if you have the Moon Pearl, you can go in and out. Like, there's so much stuff I've learned. Mostly because of Omega. Teaching me new stuff. But yeah, so the flippers, A. At that point, you head up Death Mountain. And you get the magic mirror. Whee! In the Japanese version, you can use this to delete blocks, which the randomizer is based on. As long as you're not in a dungeon or a place where it would warp you between places. You know where it goes, you can use that there. It allows you to go from Dark World to Light World. It allows you to, like, warp to the beginning of dungeons. It's a pretty, like, main part of your inventory. I mean, it's more of a practical thing than, like, a fun gameplay thing. I always found this one a disappointment because it just feels like a literal key. The mirror. What do you mean? What do you mean by a literal key? Yeah, like also I hate how slow it is. That's probably just a SNES trying to load everything. Now that I'm older. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, it's just, it's like these kind of items we were talking about, where it's like one trick. Oh yeah, it definitely would be at the top of the list here. I'd say like B-, because like it does have some cool moments. Like there's parts where I'm like, oh shit, that was cool. You know, we're like, can I go on this ledge? Can I go up here? Like, there is a cool exploration factor to this item that I think like helps the game. You know what I mean? But yeah, but the mirror does change the game though. I feel like it's just not as dramatic, I guess. Like, it's not... No, you get some pretty cool checks, I guess. But most of it's like piece of heart and stuff. Like, when you 100%, you get to see like the mirror's really cool like usage. In a regular playthrough, it's just like, yeah, you don't really do too much. But you're like, at the end of the day, you're not finding like the magic, the magic cape or whatever from that, unless you're using it to enter it without the gloves. And I'd say it has some usage. Yeah. I'm happy with it being here. So then you'd enter and you get, of course, the Moon Pearl. Feel like it's of the same thing. In fact, the Moon Pearl is actually not as needed as you think it might be, if you know how to like Death Mountain descend and do all that kind of stuff. But which I've done before. But yeah, this is another like one-trick pony, where it's done more for like a gated progression. That's what you mean by key now. Where it's really just there to like undo the gates a little bit. But I feel like it was a cool moment, I guess. Like I feel like for most people, their first time, they don't end up getting the treasure. And they'll like go to the Dark World and be like, oh shit, I'm the bunny. I know that happened to me, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, oh shit, I'm the bunny. And it's like you have to like figure that out, you know what I mean? But it's such a like one-time puzzle. Like that'll only happen to you like once kind of thing. Yeah, right. So it's like I'm trying to think of like those experiences too, of like how is it interesting from like a gameplay perspective, or from like the different skill levels. So I'm approaching this from like, I've done everything a bajillion times. So it's like, yeah, it's not that exciting anymore. But I'm like, back when I first played the game, it was super exciting because it was like, because you're like, oh man, I wish I could like explore the dark world. And then when you actually get it, you're like, oh shit, I can explore the dark world. Yeah. Yeah. But it is kind of essential to like beating the game. Like the lantern, you can go with it. You can go without this stuff, and you can still beat the game, assuming you didn't need the medallion. Like the medallions aren't on the original checks. Like if you're not doing some vanilla seed or something, you could beat the game without all that shit. But you can't beat the game without this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like B or higher is like it's kind of essential. And we might reorganize this a bit, of course. Moving on. Because I could talk about this all day. You would then go get the Master Sword. We'll do the swords last, like I said. The priest dies. You invade the castle. Oh, the red shield, I guess we can throw in, because that's you'd get that at the fountain with the fairy. I do like how it goes ding with the fireball enemies. That actually is like kind of useful. Like when I get this shield eaten by a like, I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm like, cool. When I get this eaten by a like, I'm like, oh man, fuck. Like the fireball counter is actually way more useful than you think it's gonna be. It would be cool if you could like deflect the turtles and stuff like you could in the Game Boy ones and Between Worlds. But that concept wasn't really like realized yet. But for the sake of like A Link to the Past specifically, it's more useful than you think it would be. Like it's not just a visual flair, and it's like one trick pony that it does is actually like more useful than you think it is. It's not essential, right? But it's good at what it does. Is the best way to put it. Much more than the blue shield where it does nothing. Yes. So as we continue. Also, I realized one of the book checks is not even a book check, right? Don't you just toss the thing into the fish, and the fish gives you one of these medallions? Then the other two are book checks. And then there's just the pedestal check. So yeah, the book's not even as useful as I thought it was. It's only like 3 checks. I was just thinking about that. So, we're in the Dark World. We're gonna head to the first dungeon. I guess we could have done the fire and ice rods, because those... Or no, I'll do the fire and ice rod at dungeon 3 of the Dark World. The hammer. This is by far an insanely useful item. If you do not have a sword, this thing basically will be your sword. The amount of randomizers I've essentially beat with this thing is insane. Honestly, I might bump this up to S. I'm not even joking. The hammer, like, dominates in this game. Besides cracking Helmasaur's skull, it can kill literally every boss, I think, except for Mothula, I think, is the only one. But and even that one, I think it's just because it bounces off the spikes or that weird glitch or whatever. I think it literally can kill every boss in the game. Even Ganon, I'm pretty sure. Although that one, I think you might have to do the spin slash thing. I think you have to do the spin attack thing. Like for the final thing. Like if you don't have butter sword or whatever. And it can kill it. It does temper damage. S tier for sure. Anytime I ever use a hammer in a playthrough, the only hard part is like the range of it. It can be a little tight. It's a little bit shorter than a sword, so you really have to like know your shit. But like, it's unbelievably god tier. It's like I said, you can go the whole game without a sword, and this thing can like replace it, and you're totally fine. With hammer, when you use frozen enemies, that's magic pots like 90% of the time. Oh, I didn't know that. Like yeah, when you destroy their frozen, like when you like Yoshi's Island them. Yeah, there's like no downside to the hammer. It doesn't cost any MP. There's no like ammo usage or anything. Honestly, this is better than the lighter. I'll do this. I'd rather have this than this, because this I need to beat the game. But this I can at least roll through the entire game, steamroll everything until I need this. I could also steamroll the game with this, but it's a little bit more precarious because you have the ammo. I mean, it needs a scientific method. We've been doing a lot of testing here in the labs. The hammer working on the big pig is only random logic because of swordless, but vanilla, I think it's only sword. I've never tried to use the hammer in rando. Like, I've always just used the sword. I think I just operate on vanilla logic of like, it has to be the master sword. But being able to kill like 99% of the bosses. I guess Egaham you wouldn't be able to kill. I'm not sure if the hammer reflects. I don't think it does. With the orbs. But oh no, you can't beat like the one boss you fight twice. And by that point, you're probably gonna have the net. If you're at Egaham 2 or even 1.
Mario.
Egaham. You were generally shocked how far with Link to the Past you got through with the hammer. You legit don't need a sword. Like Omega said, it does tempered sword damage, which is like tier 3 damage. You are like a god. It's like using Dooku sticks in OOT. Where like, you don't really need a sword. That was another game where I didn't really have a Kokiri sword forever. And I just dominated everything. I used that big Goron sword just mostly to save time. That was really more what it was. So we didn't have to like grind sticks every 5 seconds. And even that was more of a glitch. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, there it already came up. Ha! We were just saying that it's gonna come up at a perfect time. But here, let's keep going. When you get to you get the hammer, you then go to Swamp Palace, right? That's dungeon 2. You get the old hook shot, which is S tier. This is boomerang, but actually useful. Gets you to places, opens up the map. All the things we've talked about, with like it has usage, it has map practicality, it has like the ability to attack things, doesn't use MP, has no ammo usage, it gives you iframes, gives Link a little penis, little hot dog penis. It's just fun to use. Yeah, just going like ding 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 ding. It has a great sound effect. It's became like a staple of the series. From Game Boy Zeldas to 3D Zeldas to like, you're gonna see this in some variation at some point, whether it's a switch hook or claw shot. You're still gonna see a hook shot. Like, this fundamentally changed how Zelda played when this was invented. Along with like the Pegasus boots. But even that, yeah, I guess those got used again. Yeah, those got used a lot. There was a few things this game invented. The power glove, the flippers, the Pegasus suit, or shoes, the hook shot. Like, a lot of these things were invented here, which is like kind of fascinating. Hook shot's undeniably S tier. It still affects game design to this day. Yeah, it's like, if a Zelda game doesn't have a hook shot, so many people were disappointed with Wind Waker because they thought it didn't have a hook shot. If you haven't played the game, spoilers here, I guess, for items, but like it's a late game item in that game, so it's actually kind of hype when you get it. It's like, oh shit, I didn't think it was gonna be in the game. Bugnet, yep. Even the concept of catching like fairies and bottles and all that, that's here. The mirror and all that, but that's kind of unique to this. Like I said, the mushroom side quest, which gets used in every single Zelda ever since this. I think even to like Tears of the Kingdom, I think they still do a mushroom quest. I'm pretty sure. Even if it's not like a witch, it's still like a, you know, get a mushroom. Yeah, Seasons Rot is basically the mirror. Yep. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it's kind of a reskin of it. And the Ages harp is literally that. It's just that you can go between the two as opposed to it being one way. So yeah, so every single thing. That's why it's interesting with Link to the Past, because people look at OOT as like that invented Zelda or like put it on the map. It's like all it was doing was just taking stuff from A Link to the Past and Zelda 2. But nobody took from Lufia 2. Actually, that's a lie. That's randomizers exist because of Lufia 2. But that's a story for another time. I've been wanting to do a Lufia 1-2 playthrough on stream. I fucking love those games. Speaking of hookshot, look at that. Damn. But why is the cheeks glistening? Yeah, that'd be true. Yeah, we never seen the cape again. I guess it'd be like hard to do without it looking stupid in 3D. We just did hook shot. No, unquestionably S here. You would then move to the third dungeon, fire rod. This one definitely better than a lantern. It's a lantern on crack. It does use a lot of magic though. Even with half magic, it could be a bit of a hog. So I'd say B tier. It's definitely the best of the B tier though. It's like a B plus. Like having to go into the fights where you have to use it, if you don't have half magic, is like terrifying. Like the cold stare, the Mothula one. Mothula's not that scary. It's scary your first time because it looks really intimidating. Like when you're new to the game, it's really scary. But when you're like experienced, you're like, oh, okay. It is needed though. Yeah. That's why it's in the, I'd say B and up is needed. Actually, maybe it is more. You know what? Maybe it is A because it helps a lot. Like you need it for like different puzzles as well. Like that Ganon one, we get to like torch one that fucked me up. That I didn't have the magic for, that I've never had that issue before. And there's a lot of like cool little like techniques and time saves it can do. It can kill a lot of enemies. It helps with a lot of annoying enemies like the Gib does. But the limited magic I feel like does affect it. I can't put it higher than like this. And even that, like I feel like it's like kind of straddling the two, you know what I mean? Like when I look at it from its like practicality and usefulness, it's like, yeah, it's an A. But when I look at it at its like magic usage and like the, but then they make it a little too OP in like Between Worlds. So I don't know. It's a hard item to balance. It's like Link's Awakening and a Link Between Worlds. It's just a freaking beast. A B, it's like an A minus. Yeah, that's, so I think here fits. On the other end, the Ice Rod, which you could also get. Like, we could have got that super early. Also a trick with the next rod, the Ice Rod. You were mentioning that you could freeze enemies and then use them for magic pots. I feel like it's an underrated rod where you don't really use it or think to use it. But it can be like useful to kill things. But besides Trinex, is it ever really needed? I think it would be A where Bombos would B since I think it uses more magic. Oh, I think it would be A where bombs would be because it'd be. Oh, okay. I think you were saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying because you can use bombos in replacement of fire rod. Yeah. Oh, can you use on land molas? Actually, I don't think I knew that. Really? No, I think I did know that, but it's like I've never done it. If not, either way, it's a, huh, that's cool. I still look forward to getting it because that means like at least I know I'm prepared. Like I'm in go mode, just for like the one fight where you might need it. Because otherwise, I don't think it's necessary. But it's kind of trapped in that weird, like it's kind of required. But much like the ice arrows, I guess in OOT, it's not like changing the game much. You can do it in vanilla because it's where it's placed. Oh yeah, you can get it super early. You're right. You can get them like right at the beginning of the game. Not always, but extremely often. I just tested this. You got what are 4 things? Oh, you just tested it. Large and which one's that one? What emote is that? Oh, small magic pots. 1 heart. I'm sure with Zelda names. What's the Amolas? I think that's a little in the desert place. The 3 dudes, and they like come out of the ground, the snakes. They shoot the little green balls, like. Okay, I need. Just give me the OST. Yeah. Is it? I don't know if I feel right with it being B. Like low B. Because it's really more for like fun bonusy shit. But it is required, so I can't really put it lower. Like you do need it. Like it's it's integral to its game design, even if it's just like a one-time thing. Like these ones you can get by without, even in a randomizer. But Ice Rod just barely squeaks by into the like, you need it, but like, oops, you're not always like happy about it. Where is it required? Trinex. You literally cannot beat the game. And if you do a randomizer, you can randomize the bosses. So Trinex can appear like more than once even. So you might, for example, like be unable to beat multiple dungeons in a randomizer. So it kind of ends up in that weird, like you can use it to also help you with regular enemies and all that too. Yes, you do need the book to enter the second dungeon. That is correct. But actually, if you're playing a randomizer, if you have the golden glove, you can enter Misery Mire with the flute. And then you can walk up the side there and warp back. And then you can actually enter it that way. So in vanilla, yes, you do need it. But in a randomizer, you could actually reverse enter and never use the book. Assuming you don't need to check those other spots, like the green things, like the tombs or whatever. Like I said, I'm doing it from both the vanilla and randomizer point with this. In vanilla, like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to beat the game. But again, it would still only be one singular check. It has no, like, enemy usage, has no, like, you know, there's no, like, secret boss you could read the book at or something. Which, that would have been cool, honestly. Like, you read the book to blind or something. And, like, they get stunned or something. And maybe it only works once. But, you know, stuff like that would have been cool. But that's really just, like, if I have to rank them, it's gonna fall below because of that. Same with the mushroom, where it's like, that one, like, it does have a check. You technically don't need to get it. But, yeah, using the book, that, you know what I mean? That would have been fun. Like, a little, like, because it's like a prayer thing. But maybe that was too religious, right? Like, I could have seen the book having more usage. Especially with that cool little animation it does. It could have been a cool little, like, screen clearing attack. Or maybe it uses, like, all your MP. Like, it takes an entire bar to use it. Or some shit. But you already have 3 different screen clearing attacks, so I don't know. Maybe it was too OP. Or like maybe just didn't even think of that. Nani's book on Vanilla Ped. It just says like the master sword lies here or some shit like that. I know I've done it before, and like I used to always read it actually as a kid. I thought it was cool you could like read the Hylian. So anytime you could read the Hylian, I'd always do it and be like, yeah. Like I said, from like a lore standpoint, it's cool. That's why it's not F. Like it at least has like some usage. And like at least like, you know, this one that gives you like a little side quest, which is at least kind of cool. Like at least it's, you know, there's very little side quests in this game, so it's fun when you actually have like something to do. But a lot of the side quests are kind of like integrated. They're not really like, I need help, Link, help me out, you know. Anyways, continuing. Otherwise it'll take forever. Let's talk about the shovel. You can get the shovel by this point. And of course by adjacent the flute. The shovel sucks because you get to use it once and then it's gone. In vanilla, you never get to use it. And it used to make me sad. In the GBA version though, fun fact, you actually do keep it. So you can actually dig the spot. It's kind of like the Game Boy Zeldas. You can use it for like hearts and stuff. But in the SNES Link to the Past, never get to use it beyond the like initial minigame. Yeah, like what would you ever use the shovel for? You can use it to dig up money, like rupees and like money and rupees and hearts and fairies and shit. You know, it's very similar to what you do in the Game Boy games. Like the strat in Oracle of Seasons and Ages, as people probably saw in the 7 Zelda, is using the shovel to dig up hearts or like big rupees and shit that you don't have to spend forever like going through a dungeon or whatever, or just like getting your shit back. But Link to the Past, like I said, beyond the GBA version and even the randomizer, I don't even use it that much. Like it's again another example of it has one usage and it's pretty much just that. It at least like has, I'll put it higher because you can at least do more things with it. It's useful for hiding bodies, yeah. Again, at least it gives you a fun side quest. So I'll put it, this is like the fun side quest here, I guess. Because all these are like fun side quests. Like they're not totally useless, but like you get to do this one thing. It's kind of fun, kind of cool. I think that's fair. The flutes. Where do we put this? This is another, like, you get the flute and you totally change how you play the game. It's required for one of the entrances, so it's needed. The bird moment is pretty cinematic when like it plays the song slow. And like it busts out in Kakariko and you're like, oh shit. The flute, it blows to me. Would I put an S tier? I mean, we might make an S plus tier as well for like the one item, you know. Like I said, the quick travel is like, it's one of those. This is like the, if I get it in the randomizer, or even in vanilla, I'm like, oh shit, like the game is now like faster. I can go places. I can do things faster. I can do stuff in more areas. Or in Death Mountain's case, you could actually enter Death Mountain early if you don't have the Mitch yet, or the lantern. Yes, you actually do. This doesn't matter at all. Super excited you can play it for the dad. Wait. You can play it for the boy's dad and make him happy or sad? Wait, what do you mean? You can play it for someone? Yeah, and the Duck's God tier. Yeah, I'm happy with this. It would be cool if there was Pole's voice in the game, so you could like use it to kill them. I always like that when they do the Pole's voice reference. Although they're too easy, I guess, because of that. You can make someone, you can infect someone with the song? I didn't know that. Really? That's actually blowing my mind. Who do you play it for? Wait, what? Nah, wait, what? That's a thing? What? This is the I learned something new about A Link to the Past today day. Ba 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 ba. I didn't even know people stayed at the end either. I know, I'm like, this is like a, you should make a YouTube video on this. So at this point, we're getting close to the end here. Before we dive, actually, no, we should dive into the glove, because that's like the next one. If the power glove's good, I think it's pretty much just a better version. So I wouldn't say it's like better like how the fire rod is to the lantern or something. It really is just now you can pick up the slightly darker rocks, which, like it doesn't make it worse. Like it doesn't make it slower or anything. Oh, you have to do it before the bird? What the fuck? Really? A- power glove, A+ for mid. You think it's that big of a difference? Glove needs to be at the top. I guess glove. Underrated song, by the way. Mario fan. So at this point, you can grab the cape. The cape's a weird one. Not required, but kind of useful. Like, this can get you out of some sticky situations. It can sneak into Eggy Ham in the randomizer, like in the light world, beyond the gate.
Mario.
I'd say it's a strong B. So you missed the Mario stream? You're a Mario fan. You missed the Mario stream. I don't know if before or after the bird matters, but I played it for him on my way to the bird. I never knew that character existed in the game. It's like when I found out about that store in the Dark World, where you go like for that path to Hyrule Castle, like on that left side. There's like a shop there. I like never knew that for years. Blew my mind. Useful for tile rooms. Oh, true, yeah. It has a lot of usefulness for like, oh yeah, and it has that trick that I always forget about, where if you use it and you pull a wall, you never drain your magic. So you can straight up just use the cape, hold a wall, and you'll just never lose MP, like your green meter. You'll just straight up, like, it works for bosses, it works in any room. Just grab a wall. I don't think it has to be a wall. Probably just any tile, I'm guessing. Like that you can grab. Like, it can't be like a pot, obviously. But it has to be like a solid wall. And you have to, you know, when he does like the like that shit. It can't be like a removable item. Like it can't be like a, you know, a stone thing or something. The cape makes you go invisible. And the invisibility is like actually broken. Like I said, it bypasses like barriers in the game. It has this glitch where you can use it infinitely. It's not required, but like it's actually like really useful. It also can help if you do like an enemy randomizer and there's some bullshit enemies, like, you know, like there's a lot of usage in it, both vanilla and rando. Yeah, it has to be the strain pull animation specifically. Oh yeah, spike floors. Yep. Much like the blue rod. It's kind of we might as well talk about the blue rod at the same time. They're kind of the same thing. I know Firebird's like, yo, blue rod is S tier. Really, what's the difference between the blue rod and the cape? The blue rod, I think the cape's better than the blue rod, isn't it? Honestly, I think both should at least be A. Because like invincibility is pretty fucking broken. Bumper cave. I thought the cape's more useful than the blue rod. And like drains magic not as fast. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Blue rod's slightly better because it attacks enemies. Oh, that's true. But it doesn't have the infinity glitch. But it does hurt enemies though. Honestly, I like them better than the fire rod. I like it better than swimming. I like it better than bombs. I think that's about right. Yeah, I feel like cape and blue rod, you could switch their they could be interswitched. It could be like, I could see why blue rod would be better, and I could see why cape would be better. But I feel like I'd still rather have like if I had to look at this list, hammer, yep. Silver, yep. These are all like goated, yep. These, yep. I want these. Yep. Yeah, I want these more than this. And these are like tied for me pretty much. Honestly, bombs might be better still. Swimming's better too. Yeah, I think there. Another item you can get at this point in the game would be the half magic. This is S tier, undoubtedly S tier. This one changes the game not so much in like an exploration way, although like, it can, I guess, help with the blue magic part or the blue rod. We use that to solve a puzzle, or the cape. But the half magic helps with like that Trine Xbox, cold stare. Pretty much every boss benefits from you having half magic. All the way up to the end of the game, with the final boss, where you have to light the lanterns to keep the boss fight going. The half magic can make or break that fight for you, honestly. It's practical, it's useful, it helps. It gives you more like options, because you can use more like spells and, you know, the medallions and shit. That's what I meant by spells. You can do more things. Mario fan, you just gonna talk about SAO? What's going on? This ain't an SAO stream. We're doing a Zelda tier list. Yeah. Yeah, like half magic. The half magic has to be up there. I think the flute and all this is still better. Like, this is like a nice thing to have in the sense of like making the game so much more functionally easier. But these are like, I need this to like win. This I don't need it to win, but this makes my time like, life is like, I'm laughing if I have this. Yeah, I love that concept. No joke, as a kid, I used to get tricked by the bat. Where he'd be like, I'm gonna curse you. Ha ha ha. And I actually was like, no, I wouldn't get the curse. I remember that. There's a lot of times where I didn't get the curse. So I was like, I don't want to mess up my save file. Same thing happened in Link's Awakening. I also didn't want the bat to curse me. I think he expands your magic powder. I remember being like I remember really reading it, being like, but this sounds like a good thing, and I was so confused. The quest for getting it is so good. Yeah, it's a good one. From there, I think you get the blue mail, right? Ice Palace. The order is not too strict, but I think this is correct here. Much better than the green mail. This is just a damage boost, basically. But much like the red shield, it's kind of useful. Like, this can make it so things aren't doing like 8 hearts of damage, or like Link to the Past has crazy damage scaling. And the blue mail can like help circumvent a lot of that, where you're not like getting fucking one-shotted by a fucking Lionel, like walking on the way to a dungeon or some shit. Like, this has more usage beyond just like a single check. Also, whoa, coming in 29 months. We made some cat faces. All my animated emotes aren't animated anymore. What happened, Twitch? They're all just frozen. What? Why are they frozen? I'm just checking my... What the hell? Oh, because it was open my settings. Like, not on that screen. Don't let them see my secrets. That's fine. I'll fix it later. Also, let's give you a proper one. Get out of my swamp! Alright, good. Yeah, so blue mail, good defense upgrade. Good color change for once. But I can't really put it higher than that. I feel like it actually is useful. I do actually enjoy having it. And it does make the game easier. So from there, the red cane, or the cane of Samaria. I actually think this is really fucking useful. I'm gonna... You do need it to beat the game. For like 1 dungeon, maybe 2. You can actually use it to sequence break the Ice Palace dungeon, which the GBA version changed the layout, so you don't have to do any of that, but... no need for defense if you don't get hit. True. And that's true. Another item that would go on to be used in pretty much every... Not every Zelda, but like I think it was Oracle of Seasons that had a Cane of Samaria. Just the Cane of whatever concept that started in this game would continue. The Cane of Pasai, whatever they call it in Minish Cap. I'm always afraid, whatever the hell they call it. That chat to work? Fuck yeah, what's up? You can yell at my tier list. Actually, everyone seems to kind of agree with me. There's a load module. Yeah, that's weird. I've had that happen sometimes. My emotes aren't animated right now, so I think there's some weird Twitch glitch or something's dying. Whenever I can as a kid, and I recall, don't the blocks hurt enemies? Yes! You can pick up the blocks and chuck them at people. You can also press the button twice to make them explode in 4 directions. They hold down switches. They can be used to like kill things. Like the cane is like, I'm debating putting it in S tier. So you can't get Ocarina without the shovel? What about it? I feel like you haven't seen... You missed most of today. The D list is basically fun side quest, or it has like a single check. And the vanilla Link to the Past SNES, you can't use it beyond the flute. Like, it's not an item you can use. In the GBA version, it becomes an item you can use, so it actually has some practicality there. And in Randomizer, you can use it. But even as someone who's like a hardcore Randomizer player, like, I never used a shovel. Yeah, the GBA version, yeah. That one, you actually can use it 24/7. But even in that game, it is useful. You can use it to get, like I said, rupees and hearts and all that kind of stuff. But, to me, it goes into the fun side quest here. You get your 1 or 2 checks. And it doesn't really do much beyond that. These ones are like, they're practical, but you know, they have some limitations, or like, you know, they don't really do much beyond that. B and higher is like, you need this to beat the game. In the randomizer, you don't actually need the book, or the lantern, but in vanilla you would need them. But bug catching net is good. I don't know if I'd put it this high though. I might move it around a bit, but I want the shovel to be better than this. Honestly, the shovel gets hella upgraded in the Game Boy games and the GBA version. We're like Link's Awakening and the Oracle games. The shovel is so useful. So at this point, I guess we're at the medallions because we're kind of in the last part, including the mirror shield here. But Bombos is the one where it's like, right, that one. Honestly, all the medallions are kind of the same. Like they all kind of do, like one of them will do some electricity, like seizure-y thing, and they all freeze. One of them does like he jumps in the air and does a cool quake, and it goes. Like they're all pretty like visually cool, and they all kind of do the same effect for the most part. It's like different flavors of the same thing. The shovel become the mole mitts. That's actually, the mole mitts are really fucking cool. I think that's an underrated item. But I never thought of the shovel progressing into the mole mitts as like their like evolution. But you're totally right. Yeah. They're neat and that's about it. Yeah. They might go into the C tier. I guess technically you need 2 of them to beat the game though. Right? But much like in the sense you need the lantern to beat the game too, but or the book. But Bombos with fire either freezes quake, I think is only useful for dungeon access and dead rocks. In vanilla, do you use the same one on both dungeons? I think you use 2 different ones, don't you? Misery Mire used the and then Turtle Rock, I know you use quake on that one. I feel like they're kind of like the ice rod, where like they have fun usage. Like they make its own tier. Like they have fun usage, but they're not like I wouldn't say they're as bad as the lantern. Are they though? They're kind of just as useful. Like very like you have to use magic. Like you can kind of like you can't really fuck it up, which is why it's better than the lantern. Ether is Misery Mire Quake. Okay, yeah, okay, I thought so. Strike move is freezing the bird and having to drop into the water. Oh yeah. But in an actual dungeon, I used to like using it in Ice Palace a lot when I was younger. I still kind of do actually nowadays. Like I find them useful for some dungeons, but I'm not like, oh man, I have to have Ether or Quake. Beyond the usage of its 1 check, which puts it above this, where this is just only 1 check, has no extra usage. This has like maybe 1 check. The lantern is more respectful than that, but I feel like it gets outclassed by the fire rod like immensely. If you're talking about just like functionality of like a fire weapon. Lantern's a weird one. I don't know where to place that one. Yeah, I think that's why I use Bombos in the Ice Palace. I'm pretty sure that's where I specifically use it. And it almost seems like by design, right? Where the other 2 are for dungeon access and one of them's for like attacks. So that sounds like purposeful design. Like on their part. I'm happy with that, with Bombos being the highest tier and the other 2 are just there. Like maybe Bombos and B? Like maybe? But I'm not like excited when I get it. I'm just like, oh cool, I can enter Misery Mire now. Or whatever. Like I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I'll keep it there. Mirror Shield. It's a weird one where it is better, but its usage is in 1 dungeon that you get it in that you already had beat by the time you get it. And you're really using it to get like a key at the end in vanilla. Like a singular key, basically. Is that really it? Yeah, because you already have the big key by then. And you're pretty much just using it to go to that left path to go up to the switches and go up and hit the thing. Turtle Rock's a weird dungeon and how they design the Like, you think they would have given you the big item earlier and allowed you to, like, use it for those things, or like they would have put stuff in different spots. It feels very like rushed. They didn't know what to do with it. You're excited to learn that Quake makes dead rocks killable. What's a dead rock again? Either will freeze those crystal ball squid things and the little mass dudes, neither can be frozen with ice rod. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there was a few enemies that does freeze, you're right, that others can't be frozen by. But these aren't needed for a boss fight, so I feel like that makes this still better, the ice rod, than these ones. Like, these are just glorified dungeon keys with some extra, like, heavy magic usage. Like, it's not even like light magic usage. You use it, what, like 4 times? Last but not least, you're in Ganon's castle. You get the final item in the game. I forget when I get the red mail half the time. Sometimes I forget to even get it. Like, it's by definition better than the blue mail, but I'm about as equally as excited, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not like, oh shit, the game's like, usually I'm just like, oh, now the game's just like piss easy. Blue mail, I'm actually like, okay, that like helps, you know what I mean? Red mail in vanilla, by the time you get it, it's like, wow, you don't even need it. But in randomizer, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, all right. So I don't see it, like, again, it's not really required at all. You can totally just skip it. It doesn't necessarily really help with Ganon and stuff. Those little bats that turn to rocks when you hit them. Oh, those, I didn't know they were called that, but that makes sense. All right. Last but not least, everyone's favorite time. Catnip, show me your sword. Okay. No, we got the fighter sword. It ain't no hammer. I'd say it's a B. Like, I'm happy I got it. It's pretty weak. I feel like I like it more than this. I like it more than these. Do I? I'd rather have a boomerang than a fighter sword. If I have the hammer, I'd rather have a boomerang. If I had a hammer, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? If I don't have a hammer, I'd rather have the fighter sword. I could put it up here, maybe. Then that covers both bases. You think fighter's F? I'm trying to think, because it gets outclassed by everything else you have, pretty much. But you do need it to cut those stupid fucking drapes. And let me tell you, as someone who had to cut those stupid fucking drapes, those 3 checks are much more important. And like the spin attack is useful. It's needed to use stuff like the medallions, the charge attack when you Pegasus boots. Like, I feel like it has enough usage. But I would classify it as like, when I get it, I'm like, oh shit, it's a sword. Like, I actually am happy. Wait, that's the Master Sword for the drapes? Well, I mean, you can use any sword for the drapes. The Master Sword is right here. Yeah. Vanilla, you'd had Master by then? Yeah, fair. I'm ranking it on both ends. Like I said, in Vanilla, it's actually more useful, if anything. You wouldn't have hammer at all. It's like your main method. The Master Sword, it does a shit ton of damage, has the beam thing. Honestly, it's high A. This thing is like my main method of attack, and I love the sound it makes. So. But I think you were saying you would never have the drape issue in vanilla. But in vanilla, though, the sword is like your best friend, so. And then in like randomizer, yeah, like it has practicality, right? Like it's still useful for the coins. It's useful for like the Pegasus boost, dashing. I'm not going anywhere. Bro, now leave me alone. Like I said, even though like you can do everything with the hammer, pretty much, it still has its usage. Yeah, I love the beam sound, and yeah, and the fact that the Master Sword deserves A. The Tempered Sword, and the gold sword. Honestly, these are just like fucking broken. The tempered sword alone is already broken. The gold sword is just like, why did they even give you this? You're already dealing like fucking like one-shot damage on most shit with the fucking gold sword or the tempered sword. The fucking butter sword is like literal, like you obliterate everything. But the only issue with it is you get it so late. It's like, it's so cool. Yeah, because like you're like, there's another fucking sword. Like what? Especially so late in the game. Like you're not expecting like a new item, especially from the fairy or whatever. But it's another thing where if you get either of these in a rando, it's like, all right, I guess I just win. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's that glitch with the gold sword where it can't actually kill some bosses. Like I said, gold is really just the cherry on top. But yeah, it actually is technically worse. That's right. It's kind of interesting, yeah. Should I make like an S plus? I'm like, would there be something that fits an S plus? Just put the hammer there. Just hammer. Gold does the same damage as spikes. Hookshot is S plus. Kind of is. Hook and hammer S plus. I can get behind that. Cause yeah, like I said, as I proved with the randomizers, you can use hammer to like hammer it home. To the hammer, like everything, like everything in the game gets obliterated by hammer. Like nothing is safe. And then if you combine the hook shot pretty much makes up for all the hammer's weakness in regards to range and like not having a big distance. The hook shot will then freeze pretty much every single enemy in the game, as well as shortening the gaps if you use it on blocks, getting to new locations. Both items, and also the hammer doing the same amount of damage as this sword right here, the 3rd tier sword. So I've been listening in the background, but haven't been actively watching. Been trying to do Google research. You're there for reals? Yeah, what's up? This is like the final list, pretty much. We're just trying to decide if we should do an S plus tier. I mean, we just hammered it out. So let's see here. Let's go through it one last time, just to make sure I'm happy. I agree with this. Hammer, hookshot, the best items of Link to the Past. Yes. The silver arrows, those like break the game. Honestly, I think the boots are better though. The boots are better. I don't have the boots than the arrows, but the arrows I'd still rather have. I think I'd still rather have the flute as well, because that the fast travel. I think I'd rather have half magic. These make sense. These are all kind of in the same tier for me. You just hammered up the hammer to S plus. You think tempered's S plus? Really? I might move it higher. But honestly, it does the same damage as hammer, but it also has long range. And you don't have to equip it. I see what you're getting at. But it can't destroy pegs. And you can't do that cool dash thing. What do you think, like something like this? There's always the hard part of like deciding where everything fits. So it's just slightly outclassed by the tempered. The top 3 items of the game: hammer, hookshot, tempered. Gold Star, Pegasus, Ocarina, half. Yep. A would be the master, cane, the gloves, bow, bottles, bombs. Flippers, magic. Yeah, these are like interchangeable pretty much. Fire rods, it just barely makes it. 'Cause it has a lot of usage. But if you have half magic, then yeah, it's really good. But if you don't have half magic, it's like not as good. Bug catching net is still really good. But you can't, you know, it still can affect some enemies. Powder's really good. The sword's more useful than you think it is sometimes. Red boomerang's better than blue. They're like the same thing though. These are like kind of a pair. And yeah, this is only really here because like it can kill some things, but it's not really useful. What's hammer the best for besides like knocking down a few pieces and like the turtle rock one of the bosses? I'm not really sure what's got to. I have to explain it again. We've been talking about this for like 2 hours. So what makes the hammer so good? I did it in the randomizer, but you can beat the entirety of the game. Every single boss can die to the hammer. Every single enemy can die to the hammer. It does the same amount of damage as the tier 3 sword. So in a randomizer, you essentially can beat the entire game without a sword. The only thing really stopping you is not being able to cut the curtains and not being able to reflect Egaham's attacks, I think. And we think that the final Ganon you need it as well. You need a sword. But otherwise, the entirety of the game can be done with just a hammer. And it's something that can be found without having to be upgraded. So like in a randomizer, like you could find that item really early. And essentially, it's like getting the Dooku sticks in Ocarina of Time, where you can do like higher tier damage than you're supposed to. So with the hammer, you can essentially one-shot everything. And then if you combine that with the hook shot can stun pretty much everything in the game, plus allow you to move a bit faster. You know, going to blocks and stuff. So if you combine this with this, you're essentially like destroying the game. You're like, nothing will stand in your way. Act as a block for buttons, hit switches, can be adjusted, can be used to skip half the life house, yeah. Red King, I might argue for low S. It is very, we were saying how useful it was. Like we did say like, you can use it to attack enemies, you can blow it up to do things, you can use it for bricks. You know what? Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm down for that. Cause yeah, the sequence breaking ability can break like 2 different dungeons. Not even 2, it's just the 1 dungeon, but the second one you need it for. And it has the practicality of being both an offensive, and you can like keep reusing the same block over and over. Yeah, and it has low magic usage. Yeah, it's pretty OP. Yeah, I agree, actually. Trying to think what else. Is there anything else that seems out of place? I'm honestly pretty satisfied with this. The medallions, like, so to reiterate, F tier is like, it's pretty much just a visual. Like, it doesn't really do anything, right? Like, you start with these things, they don't do anything. There's no defensiveness. Like, the shield never blocks anything. It never, like, hurts anything. You can't deflect anything. The D tier has, like, either, like, a single fun side quest or, like, 1 check you can do. Like, the mushroom you give to the witch, which is kind of fun, I guess, but it's, like, 1 thing. The book you can use for the dungeon, which you can also just, you can skip that. You don't even need that. Because you can do it, if in a randomizer, you can reverse enter with the mirror. And then there's like those tombs that you do need for the medallions, but like I said, fun side quest. Shovel, you have 1 quest in the SNES version. GBA version, you can use the shovel more than once, so at least there's something for that. But again, not really mandatory at all. The mails are just defense. The shields block things, which is still useful. They're not D tier. The things they block are useful, but you get this so late in the game, it doesn't really do as much, but it is more better than this, so it looks cool. Can you attack with the sword while using cape? I don't... Can you? I think? The cape, you can do infinite magic, though. We're looking at the trade-offs of that. Because with the cape, if you use it, then you like, pull the wall. You can, like, use it forever. Your show also adds a good bit of leg. Well, I didn't know that, actually. Because of all the sprites it's using. I didn't know that, though. Huh. Lantern is honestly, it's definition of average item. It's not bad at all. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of short range, doesn't really hurt anything. At least not in SNES version. I think maybe in the GBA it does. I think in the Gibdos you can light on fire, but it kind of gets outclassed by the fire rod in like every way. Besides magic usage, that's still better on this front, but medallions are fun for all screen clears. They can hurt stuff, but really just kind of a fancy key. Ice rod used for trying pretty much B tier and higher is like you need these to beat the game in some capacity. And C below you could actually skip all these things in a randomizer. Not that that qualifies if they're good or not, but just like how I'm also like thinking about their practicality or usefulness. In vanilla you need like the book and you have to have the lantern and stuff, but even in those it's still like you're not like, oh man, the lantern's my favorite, you know. Readings for nerds, book should be F tier. It's so true, bro. No. You can attack with sword while using the cape, so some runners will use it and then dash with the small eyes. Oh, I actually didn't know that. Okay, yeah, so you can attack with the cape. Okay, so it is pretty broken then. Blue Cane, you can attack while being invincible and attacks. That's my reasoning for Blue Cape S tier. For me, it's just the speed in which Blue Cane drains its magic and the magic cape is so fast that you're getting, what, like 5 to 10 seconds? Even with half magic? Like, not even. Like, that's like being generous. Assuming you don't use any, like, pull the wall glitches or anything. For, like, either one of them. With the red cane, you're using, like, a small amount of magic, and you can use that one block for, like, minutes. You know what I mean? So to me, it makes sense why the red cane would be better in that sense. First, like, it's magic usage and everything. But honestly, these are great points. Like this like I said, it's I'm glad everyone's as passionate about this as I am. And everyone gave so many subs. I said I'd do a tier list if we got enough subs, and you definitely did enough subs during the event. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else to add or change? Hammer's the best. Hookshot and tempered sword. I agree with this. The gold, because it doesn't work on Mothula technically, so it's slightly worse, but it's also still fucking incredible. But you get it so late in the game too, whether vanilla or randomizer, because of all the checks it takes. Unless you do the thing where you get any item at any point, but then those aren't as fun, I find. But Pegasus is god tier, Flute is god tier, Half Magic's god tier. Silver Arrows, if you get it in the randomizer, you can kill like any boss one hit, so it's really god tier. But again, still uses ammo, so like that's why it can't be totally, you know, these don't use any ammo or magic or anything at the top. Neither does most of this shit, or any of this shit. Well, magic is magic, but the end of S tier is like these require ammo. You'd argue Moon Pearl is A since you literally can't beat 70% of the game without it. I guess I'm thinking of more the Moon Pearl from like a practicality standpoint, I guess. Personally, I'd swap powder and ether. This is ether and hammer, ending on at least magic pots like 10% of the time. My bump several arrows. It was higher originally, and I moved it down. I only recently moved it down. But I guess these would be equal, yeah. Yeah, and you do need it to kill Ganon. Nothing else can regain magic in a dungeon. These are some great points. The Moon Pearl being higher is a good point. I'm thinking about that. He's getting so crowded. Should I move this up to here? Do that. I still feel like it's A. White sparkles are the quickest way to kill the pig, not the only way. Plus a leg. Yeah, I've done the spins before. It's an S tier game, all items S tier. I've heard someone say this before. I think it was Bakbasoup doing a tier list. But like sometimes you need, like in a game, you need some things that aren't as good as other things. If that makes sense. Like you need enemies that aren't as good as the other enemies. Like you're like, you know, like environmental enemies, or like they were talking about enemies in their case. But in this case, the same thing with the items. Like not every item will have the same usage factor, whether it's like lore wise or story wise or gameplay wise or whatever. Like it is cool that you have like the book that you kind of use for like its one purpose, but it would be cool if you could do more with it. Moonpearl's D tier. Moonpearl's ability to like let you access like half the game or more is like kind of true. I guess I would move this up then. So I don't have the mirror, I could still do shit with the Moonpearl. But if I just have the mirror, I can't do as much. Like, that'd still only be rabbit form. But it, unless, I guess that'd still be fine though. No, you're kind of fucked though. Yeah. Moonpearl is pretty useful. Yeah, I'm sorry, just thinking, I'm going through the game in my head. Like I said, so much of this stuff is like, you could argue so many of these items as S tier, and I'd be like, that's fair. Like the glove or something. But I think we have a pretty good spot here. Yeah, that's why it was lower, because like we were just thinking of it like it's just like a visual change. Like it's more for like that, but that one change it does is like really important. Like it kind of fundamentally like makes the game like what the game is. So you know what I mean? It's like, that's why it's like low A. Like again, in a randomizer, if you don't have the Moonpearl, you're kind of fucked unless you know how to Death Mountain Descent. And even with Death Mountain Descent, you would need the mirror to do that. So like you need this to do that. I'm trying to think, is there any last words? Any last things? Any last objections? It's pretty good, honestly. Yeah, some of these are kind of equal. I consider like the gloves equal. I consider the cane and the magic cape equal. Like the Moonpearl and magic mirror kind of, you know, they're kind of tied a little bit. The fire and ice rods are kind of a partner a little bit. Although fire rod is objectively a better rod. Why does it keep you out of bunny? You literally can't do anything except super bunny cave with the glitch. Yeah. Except, yeah, like you can't, unless you're using like glitches to like, you know, where you can die and come back as Link and stuff. You really can't do much. You can't even enter, you can't lift bushes and stuff. So you can't like, can't get the shovel. You can't like, even if you enter a dungeon, like I said, unless you do the thing where you can die and come back as Link, like you're not, it's not going too well. But yeah, Zelda, not even once. Here, yeah, I'm gonna save it. One sec. Zelda, A Link to the Past, tier list. Do download image. Do. 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 Do, 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 do. Only difference between gloves and is what can be picked up. That's true. So zoomed in on the thing. So I'm just posting it on Discord real quick. Do 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 do.
Stop!
But here it is. The Zelda, A Link to the Past tier list. It's over in the Discord. But do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to fight me? Let me know. I will. I'm curious. Which item do you think was the best item or not? Because, you know, maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, too fucking bad. Peace!